Hello, Dave.
Hello, Peter. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you getting on tonight?
Yeah, I'm a wee bit sunburnt, but yeah.
Wee bit sunburnt, I know. Imagine being able to say that in Scotland.
In May.
I know, that's just incredible.
Just.
Well, it's making up for the rest of me, because the rest of me has been pretty horrible so far, hasn't it? So,
Good
good
for the
evening
ducks.
out there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you can join us tonight. I know everybody's probably out on fine nights like this, but the nice thing about this is that you can always watch the show back. It's out there, and it'll be back and back. So anyway, if you are watching, remember we're out on 3 Facebook channels. We're on Tartan Tunes, Tunes in the Hoose, and my Peter Wood music channel, and we're also on Twitter and Tartan Tunes YouTube. So be absolutely wonderful if you can join us and share the show about all over the place. We have got 2 amazing guests for you tonight. Really looking forward to this show tonight. We've got Paddy Callaghan on first, and then we've got Richard Wood from Prince Edward Island on. There's Big Rab on, Rab Lennox. Do you know something? I was watching something last night actually, Davey, on YouTube, just catching up and stuff, and there was a thing all about pipe band competitions, and it was on Irish BBC.
All right, yeah.
And they were following 3 bands: Quinn Memorial, Ballinderry Bridge, and Field Marshal Montgomery. And I remember when Rab was a guest in the show, I'm talking about playing with Ballinderry Bridge, and there he was. There he was, on the big screen as well.
Pops up everywhere.
Pops up everywhere. What have you been up to today?
Today, I had band practice actually.
Band practice? Pipe
Band practice, yeah. Starting doing that now, and it was perfect weather for it, about 17 degrees here. Well, in Lickers today, 17 degrees. Rather warm and sweaty playing bagpipes.
Lovely.
So yeah.
Nothing like it. Well, there's loads of folk joining in now, folks. Keep sharing the show, folks. We love it when you can share it around to folk that you think might enjoy this. I'm going to play a couple of tunes tonight. A couple of Shetland tunes for you tonight. I'm going to play the Headlands, 2 marches, the Headlands and the Geysers March.
There you go.
Big
Grab
Geysers
was Big Rab was leading tip for the Quinn at that time. His TV debut.
Oh my goodness. He was in Quinn at the time, I see. I'll go. Right, here's a couple of tunes for you, and then we'll have a blether.
Go for it.
Oh, there we go. That first tune was written by Ronnie Cooper, and the second tune was written by a pretty famous Shetland fiddler called Gideon Stove.
All right.
The Stoves were quite amazing composers and things. So cool. What are we going to have a listen to for yourself?
We are having. Well, so last week we had the book launch version of my tune Miss Emily, which was written for my niece, who actually we were looking after Friday Saturday, so I ended up going up to a farm and feeding lambs and all that sort of stuff yesterday, which is why I'm burnt. Anyway, yeah, so we got that, but we've got a version that was done by Gordon Shand's kids.
Oh, the Shand family.
Yeah. So the Shands.
The
So
Shands.
we're gonna have
These guys
that
are
version.
worth watching out for. These
Yeah,
guys
very
are
much
really worth watching out for. All youngsters, 3 youngsters playing amazing. So,
Yep.
So this is your tune that's in your book.
Yes, my book. It is Miss Emily, played in G on this one rather than B flat, E flat. So
Alright,
a more social key.
All right.
So yeah.
If you say so.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Right, here they are. Fantastic.
So
They're
that's
brilliant, aren't they? They're brilliant.
Cleland, Blythe, and Invershand playing Miss Emily. They did that
And
for
they're-
my.
they're
They did that for my book
incredible
launch.
musicians.
Yeah, they did it for my book launch. But by the time they'd got the video editing and all that done, it was a bit late. So that became part of the second video for the book launch, which is still available on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Fantastic
Yeah.
musicians. They've got the whole world in front of them. The three of them
Yes.
play accordion, but they also play all styles of accordion, which
Yep.
I've heard them playing everything, from
Yeah.
classical to continental to whatever. They give it a go, and they do it well for youngsters. It's fantastic. So watch out for these guys, the Shan family. They're coming along. Their old man is quite a good player as well. You know,
He's not bad.
Daddy Shan's quite good.
Daddy Shand. He's probably
No,
watching,
Gordon.
to be honest.
Yeah, Gordon, their father. Gordon's a magnificent box player as well. So that's fantastic. So there you go. If anybody fancies Davie's book, jump on and you can get Davie's book. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. So many people joining us tonight. We've got a huge crowd in. It's great to have you. We're going to keep you captivated with our two amazing guests tonight. And remember, let us know where you are, folks. We love to know where you are. It's fantastic to know. It's our way as musicians, etc., to communicate with people across the world in all these lockdowny situations just now. So it's always good to know what you're up to as well. Make it a big social channel and let's know how you're getting on.
I seen Sacramento, California there a minute ago.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah,
That's
cool.
like the other side of America.
Oh well, there we go. See, they've even got us. There's Jim Hunter. Jim's down in, I think, the south of England somewhere. But there's people all over the place. There was somebody from Spain on there a wee minute ago as well.
All right, okay.
Fantastic. Right, listen, I think we'll get on with the show tonight with our guests because we've
Yeah.
got fantastic guests and we're going to have great fun speaking to these guys. So our first guest tonight, all the way from lockdown Glasgow.
Don't rub it in, Peter. Come on, don't rub it in.
Well, up in Shetland, we're kind of lucky, but poor old Glasgow's still on level 3. Anyway, here we go. Let's bring on. Who are we bringing on?
We're bringing on the box maestro, Paddy Callahan,
The king of box.
the king of
Hi,
box.
Paddy.
Hello, gents. How are we?
Not bad. How are you
Grand,
getting on?
grand.
Yeah, good. I think we're up to 289 days of consecutive lockdown here in Glasgow. So going strong.
Are you really? Gee, it was.
Yeah.
You're nearly at the 300 then.
We're not far.
That's
You know
such
what's going to happen,
incredible,
don't you? You're going to get 7 more days and they're going to cut it just short of the 300 for you.
Probably. But do you know what? We're all waiting for that one day of freedom. So it'll
But
be,
you know
it'll be
that-
sweet
that-
when it comes.
You can write a tune about it though, day 299 or whatever.
That's very true. Mm.
There's your title picked for you already, you know.
I just,
So how's things apart from being locked up? You've been like the rest of us, probably not a lot live happening at all.
do you know what? I suppose lockdown's kind of gone one or two ways for a lot of people. They've either got really busy or they've found themselves kind of scratching their heads looking for something to do. I've been very much the first of those. So in terms of work, I work for Cultus, the kind of Irish traditional music organisation, and we've been going all hands to the pump, online lessons and kind of running things online, and everything's online basically. And between that and doing a lot of teaching myself, I've hardly had any time to realise that we're on lockdown, if that makes sense. So I've just been pretty busy. Not getting an awful lot of time to play music. I actually had a great moment last week when we've got a wee COVID shelter out the back. When you're in lockdown for this long, you kind of have to think outside the box. So it's just a bit of a shelter built above the decking, which is outdoors. It's ventilated
That's it,
on
yeah,
it's 3 doors.
All the rules. Okay.
We're within regulations and all that. And I had a very good friend of mine, a previous guest on here as well, Tom Callister, over for a few tunes in the afternoon. And
Right.
do you know what? That was the first time in a long time that I had proper tunes with someone, and that was very, very nice indeed. So a lot of people, their first idea of when lockdown ends, let's go to the pub for a pint or whatever. For me, it's let's go to the pub for a tune. So
Yep, agree.
that's going to be sweet when that happens. Don't get me wrong, there'll be a pint as well, but pub for a tune.
Well, tell you, talking of tunes, how's about gaying us a tune? You've got the box there. I noticed. I must congratulate you as well. When you were saying some people were very busy, some people were not, and just before we came on the show, I was saying to you, you mentioned about how some people have lost weight in the lockdown and some people have put on weight. I'm one of the people that's put on weight. You've lost about 7 stone.
I've
That's incredible.
A little bit smaller than I was pre-lockdown. Yeah.
Gee whiz, you must have had to take the accordion straps in a wee bit.
Do you know what? It's not getting to the pubs. That was clearly my problem. It was the pint that was doing it. But no, do you know what? I had to replace the accordion straps, which was mental. And that way, where I hadn't realised that I'd outgrown the straps. I had like wee kind of extensions that were there just for comfort. But it was like, no, you've actually outgrown the strap on your accordion. So I'm back down to standard strap. So
well done, you. Well done.
Do you know what? It's, like playing the accordion. I mean, you know yourself, you kind of put a lot into it, but it's only when, having lost a fair bit of weight, I've realised how much easier it is now and how much effort I was actually having to put in beforehand. So I say that, and now I'm about to play a set of tunes and I'll probably gob the set of tunes, having said that. It's all so easy now, but it's a different ballgame.
What are you going to give us?
I'll go for a couple of reels.
Sounds good.
Sounds like a safe choice. Do you know what? One of my favourite tunes is a great reel called The Green Mountain. And then I'll go into one called Love at the Endings after that, which I think has got another name as well. After that, there might be an after that, there might not. I'm not sure. We'll see how that plays out.
Just to let the audience out there know, because we've got people all over the world, the accordion you're playing, it's a wee 2-row box, isn't it?
It's a 2-row, diatonic 2-row box, which traditionally speaking would be in the key of BC, but this one isn't.
Of course it isn't.
I very luckily and very recently got a set of reeds made for this box. So this is my main box, actually.
It's a concertina as well.
I would have got this sorted first of all. I got a set of reeds. Sorry, I got a set of reeds made by, made in the Czech Republic where they make reeds. But the reed blocks and stuff made by the guy who actually made the box. Although this is 15 years old. So there's my original reeds in a nice wee case, which are in BC. But these ones are C sharp. So playing in the key of D, all of a sudden becomes E flat, which is a little bit nicer. And that means I can play with you, Dave.
We'll make that happen sometime.
Absolutely. Are you tuned properly E flat, or are you?
I'm
a lot of pipers.
I can do either.
Okay, because a lot of pipers are so far past E flat. It's like
that's right.
Yeah, no, pipe band pitch is almost hitting B now. It's almost F. Yeah, it's E. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. But I think the way things are going with obviously lockdown, a lot of folk are finding the B flat sound again and going, oh, this is a lot easier to work with. So I wouldn't be surprised if next 10 years they'll come back down to B flat and then they'll start kind of progressing again over the next 20 years.
Or you just be like me, Paddy, that I still play in B flat for the first time because I haven't got any sharper.
Improved.
Still flat. So,
love it.
Go for these reels.
Love it. Yeah. Right, will do.
Thank you.
Hey!
Thank you very
Excellent,
much.
buddy. Excellent.
I think
Good
that was a
stuff.
wee one. The rookery at the end. I had no idea where that came from, to be honest.
All right. Okay.
The fingers just start going, that's it.
Yeah. I think I was a couple
But
of bars into it when I actually realised, oh, I'm playing the rookery. There we go.
you've been kind of with music all your life so far. Anyway, you've been absorbed in it basically. But
Yeah.
you started playing whistle to begin with, didn't you? And then harp as well.
Yes. So I started playing music with St Roch's Ceilidh Band in Glasgow, as many people in Glasgow tend to do so, and they've got a very well-oiled machine of learning, which for everyone basically starts off with the tin whistle, nice and simple. Everyone comes in the door,
Okay.
and by the end of their first lesson, they're able to play. I think. Three Blind Mice. What's that? Mary Had a Little Lamb, and that kind of, a couple
Yeah.
of nursery rhymes, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, etc. And then usually by about a year in or a year and a half in thereabouts, you kind of progress on to another instrument. And for me, that was box. Still don't know exactly how that became box. My recollection of it is I was brought into a room and told to sit at a chair, and there was a box sitting on the table in the front of the chair. And the guy who runs St Roch's, Frank McCardle, came in after like 20 minutes.
This sounds like something out of a mafia film or something. You've
It
taken into
does
a
a
room
little
and
bit.
there's a-
Like an interrogation. Yeah.
There were a lot of other people in the room. I should probably have said that. It wasn't like a dark room and there was no one else around. But Frank came in after 20 minutes. Maybe it was even less than that. It was like a wee guy at the time, and he goes, "Are you not trying it?" And I was like, "I didn't know I was supposed to try it. It was just sitting in front of me," and I think that was it. I was never asked, "Do you want to keep playing the accordion? Do you want to play something else?" It was just that was kind of it. It was kind of like Harry Potter and the whole wand thing. Like it. Yeah.
And obviously
Sort of hat.
the wee Turo box has been far more associated with Irish music anyway
Yeah.
than in Scottish music. But I think the Turos used to be round the bothies in the olden days, they used to have them up in Aberdeenshire and all that, and sit and play the wee tours. But it was really Ireland that the
It
music
probably would have
flowed
been
into, I think.
Ireland where they sort of became more mainstream, but it is interesting. I mean, see if you go into, as you say, wee kind of bothies, wee kind of country pubs up north quite a lot, up on the east coast as well, and there'll be an old horn or two-row accordion like stuck in a wall, which I think is sacrilegious to have an instrument nailed to a wall, but they must have been around for so many of them to be there. But it's a shame that not more people
Yeah,
play
it's
them.
terrible. I'm the same when you go in and see a nice set of bagpipes and they're stapled to a wall or something like that. It's never really good.
There's a set, and we went to an estate that we were staying at with loads of lodges, and in the games room they had a big pool table, and on the wall there were 3 sets of Highland bagpipes in cases,
Yeah.
probably, but they're probably 100-year-old, and they're just sitting in cases, literally gathering dust.
Yeah.
Mental. Yeah.
I remember when, not that long after I'd been learning at the pipe band, and somebody came and their chanter was always falling out. Apparently, they didn't have enough hemp on it to keep the chanter in. And they came back the next week and said, "It'll not happen again. My dad super glued it in last night." And they actually super glued the whole thing. So that was that. I don't actually know what happened to them. But once the reed was knackered, you'd have needed a new set of pipes.
I did see someone, it was a pupil of mine, and it was a wee kid that was playing, and I happened to say that their accordion was leaking a lot of air. And to be honest, if there's like a hole in your bellows, a bicycle repair kit is actually not a bad kind of place to go on the inside. It does the job. But I'd said it was, the ceiling behind, you probably need a kind of new gasket in there. And the father took a tube of silicone to it.
Oh.
It's like, no, that's not what I meant. It's definitely not what I meant.
Wasn't even Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Glue would have done the job.
Yeah. So
Cells
fixes
get
everything.
better.
yeah.
Gorilla
But,
Glue fixes everything in my house. Everything. I fixed the wheelbarrow with Gorilla Glue. Right.
fair play.
Karen would probably say I didn't, right enough, but anyway. There's somebody saying they've got a set of Henderson pipes made in 1907.
Yep,
That's
and
about
I've
the
seen
same time as mine were made, actually. I've got
Probably
a set of
same set.
Hendersons.
No, not the same set.
I've got a set of Hendersons that was about the same time. So, anyway, folks, keep all these comments coming.
Yeah.
It's lovely to have you here. Paddy, so when you were growing up, was there a big Irish music scene in Glasgow then?
There is, yeah. And do you know what? I suppose there is. It's one of those ones where I never really noticed that there was. If that makes sense, it was just the scene.
It's just
And
there.
the scene in Glasgow is. I mean, a lot of people kind of refer to it as the Glasgow Irish scene because there is a big kind of Irish influence in it, just because of the amount of musicians that kind of have that kind of background in music. But it's all very interchangeable. If that makes sense. Like you go to a session in Glasgow. I say that like I'm able to do that all the time, but if we go back a few years, go to a session in Glasgow, I mean it could be, you never know what kind of session you could walk into. It could be, it could be even a total Shetland vibe going on in the session. Like, it wouldn't be unlike Ross Cooper to be there giving it big licks and the fiddle and and have that vibe. Or it could be you could get the same session if you walked into a pub in Dingle. You just don't know. It can be a total mix-mash, and quite often it's a kind of big gumbo of all of that going on, which is great.
Yeah.
We've got a similar thing in Dundee where we did. There's a pub called Menny's on the Perth Road, which is right near the universities. And the same idea. It's primarily an Irish session because all the Irish students are there. They come in September. They go, I play it, but then they go back, gather instruments, and come back down. And then that's it, Irish. Whereas the fisherman's session, where I go to mainly, is a mix of kind of contemporary trad and songs.
Yeah.
So we kind of mix it up.
But it's amazing with the Glasgow thing. The Glasgow thing seems to just be a big kind of melting pot, doesn't it? And everything happens in there. And there's a lot of diverse stuff coming out because of it. So it's quite good.
It's very reflective of the city itself. Like obviously, it's a city built on migration over the years from
everywhere,
Asia, everywhere. It really is a kind of melting pot, and that is reflected musically. And as you say, some of the music that's coming out now is, phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's funny
Yeah,
though. I
absolutely.
don't know. Like when I was young, when I say young, maybe about 5 or 6, Edinburgh would have been kind of the trad music place to be in
Sandy Bells.
Scotland. Yeah, it was just
yeah, 30
every
years ago. 30 years ago, when I was in Edinburgh, it was buzzing in Edinburgh. Yeah, it was
yeah.
really.
Whereas now, there's definitely far more musicians based in the west
The West
than
Side.
there would have been in Edinburgh. And I don't know how. I think probably Celtic Connections had a big influence on
Yeah,
that.
probably does.
yeah.
Because January in Glasgow's nuts.
Anyway, we've got you sitting there with that fine instrument. Would you fancy giving us another wee tune?
Yeah. I was thinking
Innit?
this is possibly a stupid idea, but I might do something a bit out there. I
Yeah.
say out there, but it's a tune that I'll always finish gigs with, and it's an air version of the hymn "Be Thou My Vision," which is actually a really ancient Irish air from like the 6th century called Slane, apparently.
Yeah.
And I always kind of play that at gigs, but I haven't played it in a long time, and I usually play that with a multitude of other people. So
Yeah.
when I was setting this up earlier, I just kind of plugged in the old pedal board, and I was thinking, yeah, I wonder if I might try that. Those
Magic.
things that I haven't touched in like 18 months. So this
Well, it's a
could be
beautiful.
one of
It's a beautiful tune, and the thing is, I think hymn tunes are amazing. You know, the structure, the melody, and the harmony you can get into that stuff's amazing. It's just fantastic.
In case anyone's wondering, I'm not in a church, but I do have an organ pedal. So if it gets a bit heated, that's what's going on there. But yeah, I do love I love hymns. Like, I mean, there's a reason why they've been around for hundreds of years. It's because they got it right hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's, particularly when you have that kind of organ sound, there's just power in it, and
Yeah, brilliant.
kind of love that.
Take
So
it away.
I'll try that,
Wait.
and I'll maybe do something
Lovely,
afterwards, but we'll see.
Magic. Okay. Well done, Paddy. Well done.
Thank you very
Good
much.
man. Very nice. Lots and lots of nice comments coming in here. Paddy, tell us albums and things. I know you play with your trio,
Yep.
and you do solo work as well. But do you have quite a few albums out now? How many albums have you got out now?
I've actually technically only got the one out, if that
Okay.
makes sense. I tend to play on quite a lot of other people's albums, just
Yeah.
randomly, but only the one myself.
So what's your album that you've got out just now then? You've got
It's called Acclimatized, so it was a wee one that I'd recorded a few years back,
okay.
and yeah, I've toured
And
quite.
where can
quite a
people
bit with
pick
it.
that up? Can they pick that up on your website there? that we have?
Yeah, it's
Everything
on the website. There's also
There you
a
go.
few tunes from an EP that I recorded a long time ago on Spotify as well, and places like that too.
Okay.
So you can pick it up there.
Fantastic. So, folks, if you really like the music that you're hearing tonight, that would be fantastic. Go and support Paddy. That would be brilliant. I was looking at your accolade of awards that you have won, and this show has to be a champion of champions going on tonight, because our next guest later on as well, Richard Wood from Prince Edward Island, he's won all these competitions and things as well. Two great exponents of your genres of music that you're playing. So tell us, did you like competing? Did you get into it? Did you enjoy it?
No.
No.
Competing was never for me, to be honest.
No.
I just find quite often competitions are quite contrived. So you spend all this time practicing to show off a specific side of it. There's a lot of people would go in for competitions with 3 or 4 tunes, and then you go and ask them to play in a session, and they're totally lost because they don't know what to do outside of that wee very small envelope of what they've learned to do. And
Yeah.
fine, but that's not really me. So whenever I competed, I would sit down in a chair and play whatever came my way, or whatever
Okay.
I decided there and then, which probably didn't go down as well, because obviously you've got people who've been really refined and worked on different things. But I just found that whole thing just a little bit contrived. I just preferred to just play. But to be fair, I think competitions are very good for giving a lot of people that focus and something to aim for, and they are a very good educational thing that way, because for a lot of people, maybe not myself, but for a lot of people, if they know they've got a competition coming up, they will then go and work at something, and that will make them a better player, you would think, going
So-
forward.
So did you really turn up at competitions, sit down and just play what you thought you would?
And sometimes that doesn't go well. Funny story, and it's very true, because unfortunately the video evidence is there to haunt me. I was playing at the All Ireland Fla in Drogheda, I think it would have been in. Must have been 2018. Yeah, and I sat down, and that way where kind of looked up, and all your heroes are in over the first four rows in the room. It's a massive gym hall, and obviously long before social distancing was the thing, everyone's kind of huddled in, and you're literally trying to look at a face, and everyone is a legend, and it's like, oh no. And I had a mental block of a tune, and I thought, do you know what, I'll do that thing of I'll just start playing and it'll come to me and it'll be fine. And I composed a tune there and then. And to be fair, when I got to the end of the first part, I was like, what did I play that? I need to play that again. So I did. And I played pretty much, in fact I did, because I've listened to the video a few times. I played note for note exactly what I played.
Well done.
Got to the second part, and then it was like, nah, I can't keep this up any longer. It's like, sorry guys. That's bad enough. So yeah, it sometimes doesn't go so well, but yeah.
Fantastic. You won the BBC Scottish Young Traditional Musician of the Year as well. 2013, was it?
Yeah, a few years ago now, when I was still young.
Yeah, nah, you're still young yet. You're okay.
Oh,
but that must have been a great night.
That was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I had gone in for that competition 3 years previous in 2010, and at that time for me it was I was totally scunnered with music, in terms of I just get really nervous and I couldn't do it in front of people, and it was like, what's the point of this? Because I can play at Kaylee's as part of a Kaylee band or whatever, but that's it. I can't really do anything else because I just get too nervous. And I went in for that as a kind of a challenge to myself. Do you know what? You're either going to do this and it's going to go well, or it's going to be it, but you'll go out with a bang either way. And and I went in for it, and do you know what? That was brilliant. It was in the City Halls, the final, and on the back of that, I got asked to play at quite a few gigs in different places up and down the country, and that was a massive kind of confidence boost. That,
Get it going again.
People actually liked that, and this is good. So started to play after that, and nerves stopped becoming an issue. And in 2013, I was literally at the upper age limit of what would have been considered young. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to go in for that one last time and do myself proper justice. Didn't really rehearse my sets, which was, I kind of like doing things on the fly. It's more fun that way. And I was lucky enough to come out. I mean, if I was judging, I wouldn't have picked me, but I'll take it. So
do you think that was a benefit to you then for the win, that you were because you're ad-libbing, you were more relaxed as well, because you're kind of going, well, we'll see where this goes.
I think so. I kind of think it's a bit like feeding off the energy of the audience a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm a big football fan, and football's totally lost that this year because there's no fans in the stadium and stuff, and you can see a lot of players just have lost that spark because the crowd are there. And I would be the same. Like I love sitting in front of an audience, and someone has got a creaky chair and you have a bit of a laugh with it, and musically there's a bit of banter back and forward, and that I love that gig. I go to it every year, the Young Trad final, because you will never get a more supportive audience, because they're there willing on all of the 6 competitors, not if they're there even to look after relatives or whatever, they're still willing on everyone else in the competition. It's a really kind of good-hearted atmosphere. And I just fed off that because I love that kind of atmosphere.
And one thing you said was about when I was young, but you're still pretty young, and you do another thing as well. You do trad discos, DJing.
Yes. Yep.
Which I'd not really come across before, to be honest. But this is a new one on me, so you're really keeping hip there. You're keeping in with the youngins, aren't you? If you're
keeping in with the youngins.
keeping in with the youngins.
Come on, Grandad.
Trad music.
I'll tell you what, that's going in the testimonial there. That like, it's. Do you know what? I'm not the first to do it. There's a guy actually originally from Manchester, Ollie Mulhooly, and he lives over in Ennis, and he started doing one at the Ennis Trad Fest.
Brilliant.
And we're probably talking 20 years ago now on that,
right.
And he does it every year. And I've never ever been to one of his discos, but people had said, oh, they've got this thing called a trad disco. You should do that, because I was kind of always into my tech gear and stuff. So I started doing it, and one of those ones, as you do more, you start upgrading your gear, and then you kind of stop and go, why have I got all of that sound and DJ gear? Like, when did that happen? So, so yeah, it's just kind of gone from there. And do you know what? In the last kind of 5 or 6 years, it's really kind of ballooned, and lots of festivals are kind of going
That's
for it,
amazing.
just for after hours kind of event.
Have you got a
after the gig
DJ?
and do it.
Have you got a DJ name then? Like
It's
famous wrestlers of their tag name and that. Have you got a?
yeah, mine's is kind of bland, unfortunately. It's
What is it?
DJ Paddy Callan. I
Right,
I
okay.
sat for ages coming up with that. Like, it's
Well, there you go. All you
best I can
listeners
do.
out there, all you listeners out there, if you can think of anything better to call DJ Callahan here, by all means, file them in. It'd be lovely to see. Listen, we've got a wee video of you strutting your stuff here as a DJ,
Oh,
and
indeed.
you'll notice, folks. I didn't know about this tonight, but Mr. Hunter kept me right with this. There's a wee warning video thing along the bottom there,
Just in case.
just in case, just to say there's going to be flashing lights and all that kind of stuff in this one. So it's at your
Here we go.
discretion. So here we go. Let's party down with DJ PC.
No.
We've had plenty of requests for it. It's McFadden's from the Four Men and the Dog.
Ah, wow. Do you know something? That's fantastic. Folks, there's a lot of DJs would get right up my nerves, but to be honest, that's amazing. I've never come across that before. That's something brand new to me. I think that would be amazing at a party or something, folks. So there you go. If you're looking for somebody to spice up your night and get it going good, there you go. Fantastic. That would be a brilliant way to do it. So just get in touch with Paddy. I'm sure if you get in touch with him through the website, I'm sure he'll be delighted to take a booking with you for that one. Oh, are you muted, Paddy? Oh. Lost
Paddy,
you.
can you hear me?
Oh, what's happened there then?
We've lost Paddy, but no, it was cracking. That was actually really good.
That's,
No, it's okay.
that's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Oh, we've lost him.
We'll take one, yeah.
Yeah.
No, oh no.
Oh, don't know what's happened there. That's a brilliant concept.
It is.
Absolutely
It's.
brilliant concept.
I think it was. I think on the back of Celtic Connections this year, also being online. I think Paddy did a thing on Facebook as well. Kind of did a
Right.
whole. I don't know if it was every night, but most nights he was there, keeping everyone awake. I mean, keeping everyone drinking at home. Yep.
Really great idea. Paddy, Karen will probably get you to sign out and sign back in again, maybe actually. That might be what we need to do. And we'll see you in a minute.
Yeah. So it's,
So
it's
while
just-
we're waiting
Yeah.
on Paddy coming back, we could mention quickly the Tartan Tunes mugs while we're waiting
Yes.
on signing in.
Tartan
We've
Tunes
got
mugs
Tartan Tunes
are-
mugs.
available to order via this website.
Yeah.
I put them.
And
I
we're-
put them in my shop.
We are making nothing out of these at all, folks. Any profits are going to go to charity. So if you fancy a mug, here's the Tartan Tunes mug. There we go. Do you know something? We're really going to have to get some music in that. It seems strange, Tartan Tunes with no music. Anyway, is Paddy back with us? I wonder if he's back.
I think so.
Yay!
There he
There
is.
we
Well
go.
done, that man. Well done.
What did you do?
I have no idea.
No, that's all right. Listen, that's a brilliant concept. I think that's amazing, and I'm sure you'd be quite delighted if anybody wants to book you to go along with your stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And do
Something
that,
a
so-
bit different. I'm the only DJ that no one's ever told to turn the music down. They usually say turn it up. So.
Oh, well, that's
it's a good sign. Yeah.
So if you could, is the best way just to get you through the website? Is details on there for that as well?
Just on the website. My email address, not that I like giving it out to everyone, but it's very simply paddy@paddycannon.com, so it's pretty easy to
Brilliant.
remember. But yeah,
Do- 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 yeah.
Go on, sorry, Davey.
I was going to say, did it take you long to think about that email address?
Yeah, ages.
Just
A bit
as long as
a
the
bit like
DJ
the
name.
DJ name, you know, it just came to me one day.
Right, what was I going to say? Do you fancy giving us a wee quick tune before you have to go? That'd be
I can
brilliant.
do, yep.
What do you fancy?
Do you know what? I'll go for a set of polkas. I love polkas.
Magic.
So yeah, I'll keep the chat minimal and I'll just go for the tunes.
Brilliant.
So yeah, here's some polkas.
Yay! Paddy,
Thank you
well
very
done.
much, guys.
What a great sound. Fantastic. Listen, thank you so much for coming on and giving us your time tonight.
Not a bother.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on. Much appreciated.
Hopefully we'll be able to catch up in person before too long somewhere.
I look forward to it.
It'll be some session when all us lot get together in the end again. They'll
Before
need a
you
big
go, Paddy.
table and a big pub.
Before you go, Paddy, what night are you on Celtic News Radio?
Thursday evenings.
Thursday evenings.
Thursday
Trad with
6
Pad.
till 8. Trad with Pad. Yeah.
Oh, that's in Celtic Music Radio. We'll have to stick
is,
a
yeah.
poster onto the Tartan Tunes
Aye.
Facebook page. That'll be good.
That'll be-
And we'll keep that
Hear
going.
it.
Paddy, thank you very, very much. Take
No
care,
bother,
my sir.
gents. Have a good
And
one.
we'll see you soon.
And
Yeah,
you
Thank
all
you
the
very
best.
much.
Cheers,
Bye, everyone.
cheers.
Bye bye.
There we go. What a lovely lad, isn't he?
He is.
He's a great guy.
He's good crack. Very good
I
crack.
forgot to tell him actually, one of my pupils, when I was, still am teaching accordion in the schools in Shetland, but she came with a set of Irish Eels one day. She wanted to play in her higher exam or something. It was Paddy she had got them for. She'd feel like hearing them playing at the festival. I get it, Alaska and Neve Wiley.
Right.
Actually, fair enjoyed it, so that was good. Listen, see, I think we'll just keep passing on tonight because
Yep.
I want to really hear it. This, I'm so pleased this man has come on the show. I've admired his playing for years and years, and it's just special. It's just an amazing player. First met him in Shetland many years ago. So all the way from Prince Edward Island in Canada, we have Richard Wood. Hi, Richard.
Hey guys, how you
man?
doing?
Yeah, brilliant. How are
great.
you? You're the
Well,
wood. You're the wood branch
just
in
before we
Canada.
go, yes, Prince Edward Island in Canada, and I want to thank the Business Women's Institute of Association for providing this room here to do this. Our PEI is very sketchy when it comes to internet, so thanks to them for providing this room.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. How are you? How are you doing? Are you doing well?
Yeah, it's been it's been quite a year, that's for sure. But it's been really good. Me and my wife had moved to a different part of Prince Edward Island, down in the southwest side, and it's been with, of course, all the extra time. There's been a whole bunch of developments in terms of music and shows, and given us the opportunity and the time to be able to work on a lot of that, and of course writing and working on new music, etc. Yeah.
Listen, I think what we're going to do straight away is have a video, because we've got 3 or 4 videos to get through tonight here, still, and I really want this audience out there to hear you playing. So I think let's have a video and then we'll speak about it after it. That sounds good to me. Here we go.
It's just brilliant.
That's just electric, man. Absolutely electric.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Fantastic. Tell us, where did that set come about from?
Well, it starts off with a Dan R. McDonald tune, Miss Ann Campbell, and it's funny, between him and Scott Skinner, I play a lot of their music. I was thinking about it the other day, and then it goes into a tune that was composed by a great fiddle player, a friend of mine, Howie McDonald from Cape Breton.
Oh yeah, Howie.
Yeah,
I had Howie in the show one night. Actually, Howie was on one night. I had him on.
Yeah, he's been a big influence in my playing, and I got to meet Howie when I was just starting. Actually, I was just step dancing then. I wasn't even playing the fiddle when I first met him.
Right. Okay.
And so he wrote the second piece, which he wrote for a wonderful fiddle player from Cape Breton and another dear friend by the name of Brenda Stubbart. And Brenda, so he wrote that tune for Brenda, the second piece, the second jig, and then the third tune is a piece that Brenda wrote for me and my wife Faye, and so that's called Richard and Faye's Return. So that was quite taken back by that.
In one set, including yourself playing, you've highlighted just about all the top fiddle players in Canada in one go.
Well, they're I mean, again with Brenda and Howie, they, like I said, when I was just starting in this game and just as a step dancer, I mean, they, I got to meet them at a very young age, and they're just wonderful musicians, great people.
Brilliant. And a big hello to your wife Faye there, because I think she's helping you out tonight.
Yeah, I got switching cameras here and trying to make their
Well, she's doing good. She's doing good.
Awesome.
What was I going to say? Dan R. McDonald, great composer.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow.
A lot of tremendous, great music, and a lot of you'll hear a lot of his stuff played, in Prince Edward Island, and also in Cape Breton as well.
Powerful music, powerful stuff. So you started as a step dancer first, then?
I did, yeah. I was a step dancer at the age of 8, and
Right.
it was the step dancing and the fiddle both kind of followed the same kind of progression. And I know you were talking about this a little bit with Patty. I've started step dancing and doing kind of competition circuits and that kind of thing, and just kind of honing the craft, so to speak, and doing different styles of dance. But the majority of a traditional step dance was done to fiddle music. So so for me, it was kind of a natural progression to learn this instrument that I'm dancing to all the time, right?
Well, I mean, it blew me away the first time I ever saw you in Shetland, when you come out and you stood and played some tunes, and then all of a sudden you started dancing in the middle of it all. And I was like, wait a minute, how can this guy do this? Because it must be incredibly difficult to play well and dance at the same time. That's quite a talent.
Well, it's I mean, a lot of practice and the coordination, coordination of it all, but yeah.
I think that would help make you a better player for dancing as well, though, being a dancer yourself.
Well, the thing that I think which really helped a lot and really developed through that was that it really develops a lot of the syncopation and rhythm and timing and tempo. Like, you really kind of lock into that, and when you're playing tunes or composing tunes, when it comes to that, it really did help. And I've had my fair share of playing for square dances as well, whether it be in PEI or Cape Breton. So as a dance player, to play for dances, it's that keeping that solid rhythm and is it's really important too.
But, I mean, we'll talk about it as we go through the interview tonight, but because you've covered quite a lot of genres of music as well, and we'll touch on different bits and pieces that you've been involved with. But we're really interested in your solo playing, because it's amazing, and
thank you.
A great style. So what age did you start the fiddle at then?
So then from the dancing, and my parents, God love them, they asked me when I was 11 and said, would you like to learn this music that you're dancing to all the time? And I thought, I'd give it a go. And it's kind of a funny thing because where we are here, it's the step dancing at that point, and then the fiddle in 1990, 91. Like it really, like it wasn't really a young boys thing to kind of do. It's more hockey,
Okay.
football, and
Yeah.
but it's for me it was. I mean, I just it was in the blood, and I fell in love with it right away. And
Yeah.
kind of carried me through. But I was 11 when I started, and then piano at 16. Yeah,
Okay, fantastic. When did you do your first album then?
when I was 13.
Amazing.
Yeah. We were
Amazing.
actually funny enough because that album is not on. It was only ever made on cassette, and
Okay.
at that time, cassettes were the big thing, And so a couple of years into playing, and came out with the first album of all traditional tunes, and we just went through and decided to went back and got the reels and took them into a good friend of mine to get them redone over. So we're going to get a limited edition put onto actual CDs, because a lot of that stuff too, anything that all those old tapes and everything are really,
Yeah.
they're going to wear out eventually. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, and people just lose them and they're gone. And,
Yeah.
so if you can get them digitized, brilliant. It's fantastic,
Yeah.
So 13 years old. I think you're on what, about album number 8 now, are you?
Number 8, yeah, and just through the lockdown, it's also given me time to do that. Start working on number 9 as well. Yeah,
Number 9. So number 8 was Unbroken. That was
Yeah.
the newest album, which has had amazing reviews all over the place.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Is the best place for people to buy this? We can go onto your website, can't we? Have we got Richard's website there? There we go. That's a nice website. That's a nice, easy one to remember, that one.
yeah,
There we go. www.arwood.ca. There we go, folks. If you want to pop onto Richard's site, I've been on his site. It's a fantastic site, and you can see lots and lots of what he's been up to, what he's done, what he's doing, all bits and pieces, and you can also purchase all the albums, etc. on there, which we'll mention as we go through. What about another wee video? I think we'll have another wee tune, and then
Sure.
we'll come back and speak about some other bits and bobs. Here
Sure.
we go. So there we go. Just when we thought Richard was a fiddle player, he turns up playing the piano like that as well.
I'd like to point out, I recognise one of the tunes, being a piper.
Go on, what was it?
Last tune's Mutt's favourite.
Yes, yeah,
Jerry Holland tune, which fits in the pipes, by the way.
Yes.
There we go. Listen, there's loads and loads of comments coming in here, folks, and they're just loving this tonight. So this is fantastic. Keep sharing the show about, folks. We love it when you do that, and we love it when you get in touch with all your comments. So, what was I going to say? That set there, is that one of the two that you recorded just in the last couple of days?
Yeah, actually, it's those tunes. It starts off. The first couple of jigs, there was a great kind of a Celtic supergroup going back a number of years, and they were known as the actually Jerry Holland was in it as well, known as the Cape Breton Symphony.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the Cape Breton Symphony with Wilfred Gillis and Jerry and Winston Scotty Fitzgerald, and they all of the group, that was a set of tunes that they had done years ago, and I just love the tunes so much, and I play them quite a bit. They're just really lively jigs, and and then I think it goes into Dylan Brown's Fancy. I think is the reel before Mutt's reel there as well.
Yeah. That's fantastic to hear stuff like that. Composing yourself, you mentioned composing a wee bit earlier on as well, and you've done quite a bit of composing as well.
I have, yeah.
Over the years. I believe you've got one book out, haven't you? Is that still in print?
Yes, there is. Yeah, you can order that through the website as well. It's there's 60 originals in that book, and then also been kind of picking away at. I've kind of had a little bit on the back burner right now, but been picking away at a volume 2 to start piecing that together. So. That's something it's also in the works as well. Yeah,
it's always a good thing when a musician puts on volume 1 on a book, because there's another one coming eventually.
Hopefully, yeah.
So hopefully, folks, if you're enjoying that and you're players and you want some new fiddle tunes or some new trad tunes, Celtic tunes to learn, jump onto Richard's website and you can purchase that one there as well. I shall be doing so myself.
Thank you
there we go. I don't know if I'll be able to play any of them in the accordion right enough, but I'll try. I'll certainly try. Tell us, competitions. You did do a lot of competitions, and you done pretty well in them, dancing and playing. And one of the things I noticed, you picked up a couple of Prince Edward Island Awards. Can you tell me what the Prince Edward Island Awards are? Just for all our viewers out there.
They're kind of a. It would be an awards that kind of recognizes your achievements through albums, or it'd be a lot like the East Coast Music Awards or our Canadian awards, which would be the Juno. So it's kind of the same thing, but it recognizes in the course of a year Prince Edward Island artists that have whether it be their albums or through recording studios or whatever the case may be. So. So I've been very
and
blessed.
Five East Coast Awards as well.
Yeah, over the course of through the years and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Bro. When it came to music, though you're playing a lot of traditional here, and one thing I was going to ask you about was the piano playing. You've picked up the piano. Your part of the world has a very distinct piano accompaniment style,
yes.
Compared to. Over here, we tend to just vamp, we call it, and it's just kind of like a on-beat, offbeat, on-beat, offbeat with a few kind of harmony notes chucked in. But you guys it's just full of syncopation.
Well, it is filled with syncopation. It's and a lot of moving bass lines for sure. With the left hand, it's between the syncopation and the bass line. So it's the type of thing too that I find you have to be very aware, depending on what the show is as well. If I'm playing, doing a gig where I have a full band set up, then whoever's going to be on piano or whatever the case is with your bass player that's playing with you, let's say. So something there's kind of has to be that give and take there. Somebody has to play a little bit more simpler, or the piano has to be more simple. Vice versa, you're getting a lot of kind of clashing bass lines. So it's very but it is very very distinct. You're right, and it really drives the music along with that style.
Oh yeah, yeah, no doubt about it at all. I remember it was a couple of years ago at the Orkney Festival where Coy,
Oh
is it
yeah,
Coy?
brilliant,
Coy,
brilliant.
Coy, they were over playing, and the keyboard player they had with them that time was wow, he could make it sing. It was just
Was that
jumping.
that might have been was that probably Jason Roach, was it?
It was Jason, yeah,
Yeah, you got dear friend, all the band and those
yeah,
guys. Yeah, they're just phenomenal musicians, and
yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah, wow. And it was really nice to meet them and get a wee tune through the back. You know these wee tunes you have before you go on stage, kind of style thing.
absolutely.
That's it. So it's wonderful fun. So touring, obviously, for yourself has been a wee bit limited in the last year, probably.
It has. Well, it kind of came to for like as everybody else, it kind of came to a standstill. But it's the type of thing here where compared to the rest of the country and of course the U.S. as well. Prince Edward Island we've been very very blessed, very grateful, and very lucky that I guess because it's an island that we've been able to keep things pretty contained, shall we say? So and a lot of the touring and bookings that I have had. Thankfully, that a lot of it they've all kind of been rolled over, and a lot of it's bumped ahead till, into this, into this year, and of course into next year. So, it is what it is, and but none of that. I mean, as somebody, as you're doing it as a professional, as part of your livelihood, you manage and you do what you got to do, and and it leads time for so many other things, and in the grand scheme of thing, happy and healthy, and all that will just kind of take care of itself.
Yeah. And do you teach as well, Richard, or do you?
A little bit. I tried doing some like any of that stuff from where we are at the home until things kind of get better at home.
Yeah.
You're playing, and all of a sudden you're trying to teach, and then you're frozen right midair. It's kind of so we just don't have strong enough where we are the internet, but I think it's coming, and it's going to be there.
Yeah.
So it won't be all such pockets. It'll be eventually we'll get it across the board.
It's still difficult when you're teaching a youngster the fiddle and they break their E string or something like that, and they don't know how to change it. That can be a bit of a challenge.
True enough. So, but I've done my fair share of teaching. And some, of course, private lessons as well. And but it'll be nice to get back to doing that. And of course, again, being in person, where you can help somebody with in person how they're holding or how they're fingering. Yeah.
Because I noticed in your bio you've also been involved with the orchestra as well. So is that more on the classical side then, getting away from the Celtic side? Or?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I'm a big classical music fan. I wish I could do some of that stuff, but I mean, those guys are just brilliant. And but I love that music. I got great passion for that, and so there's some tracks on the album that I've worked with, and I over the years especially, and I've done a lot of different symphony gigs. When I was touring with the Chieftains, we did a number of gigs that were with different symphonies, and I've done some on my own as well with music that was some of my originals that were done with the Prince Edward Island Symphony and with Symphony Nova Scotia and out of Ontario as well, and worked with Scott McMillan on some of that stuff as well. Yeah, wonderful.
That must have been great experiences, and you toured. You done quite a lot of work with Shania Twain as well, didn't you?
Yeah, that was that was a whole other departure from trying dabbling in more the country music side of things.
Because I mean, she was just absolutely huge, wasn't she? I mean, all over the place. That must have been huge crowds you were playing to whenever she was involved.
It was, yeah. It again, it kind of take the the Celtic stuff and then put that aside and just and put yourself into this whole other whole world of country music and what that is. Just wonderful stuff, and it was a fantastic experience. All of that with with
Because there was quite a big string section in that quite often, wasn't there? There was 2 or 3 players.
yeah, there was, yeah, and it was again, it gives you a lot of chances to do different things and harmony wise and all kinds of
Yeah.
great stuff there too, and a lot of that too. It's really interesting because I think what that did for me is somebody that's been if you want to per se out front, so to speak, when you're now the focus of course is on Shania. So as a backup artist, it really gave me the tools of understanding at that point when I was doing that of when to come in, when to lay out. There was a lot of, you know what I mean, to understand that as opposed to playing over top of one another. But it really helped me learn that as that role in terms of making it.
And it probably helps when you go back to arrange your own band for a live situation as well, because you can turn around to them, and once you've experienced it yourself, you can say, "Hold on, guys, wait a minute, too busy, too much going on."
Right, yeah, for sure.
Get the sounds. It sounds like a fascinating journey, though, and you've played a lot of good places with all these acts. And the Chieftains must have been a great experience as well. That must have been
the boys. I mean, that 2 years that I did touring with those guys. It was, I mean, just you know, they're legends, and you know, for sure. And they like just the gigs that we did, and the crowds, and you know, just how the professionalism and that again, all of that together with those guys was just amazing experience.
I bet there was some funds at the same time as well.
Absolutely, yeah. It was just a wonderful time. Great bunch.
The one thing I did notice as well, Richard, is you did a lot of work with the Canadian Armed Forces overseas tours as well.
Yes, I did. Back in 2005, well, actually 204 and 205 and 206. I was very blessed and super honored to be asked to go over as part of what they called it here. They call it the CanCon show, which is the Canadian contingency. So you go over, and it's the diversity. It's a really wide range of me representing, of course, from Canada, the Celtic side of things, and then there was Julian Austin, my great buddy, and Julie with the whole country music side of things, and Michelle Wright, and some jazz dancers and a comedian. So a real kind of show that's put together and presented to our Canadian Armed Forces in Bosnia and Afghanistan, 205 and 206, and of course there was one of the shows that we did through all of that, which is of course the coalition forces. So everybody's at that show. So the Americans and the British and you know, and the Australians, the Kiwis, so it's that was a life-changing experience to be part of that. I don't complain about too much anymore.
no, I bet it was a pretty eye opener going to places like Afghanistan.
Well, and you're also it's yes, you're there to perform music. But people have, you know, they've asked me about it, and you're there to perform music. You're also there. It's just to be in with all of them in terms of maybe they just, you know, like a lot of the soldiers, they just want to. It's great to know about what's going on back home, and you're there to talk. So you're 50% like performer, and just you're living right there with them, and it's a life-changing experience, and I go back tomorrow for what our Canadian forces have done, and absolutely, and of course, being an Army brat myself, I come from a military. My father was in the service as well, so I come from that background. But
Davie plays with the RAF pipe band as well over in Scotland, so he's
and also a forces brat as well myself. My dad was my mum and dad were both RAF.
Okay, fantastic.
But there we go.
Awesome.
So, right, let's have another tune. Let's go with this. Sounding great, and people are loving it. So, keep the comments coming in, folks. Here, I can't believe this. We're talking to Richard Wood, and it's fantastic, and it's marvelous music, and he's a marvelous guy.
Pleasure.
Fantastic. Let's have a tune. Here we go.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Sheer class. Sheer class.
Cheers.
I love it. I love that incredibly brave endings to things where you've just got to go for it, haven't you?
Well, so that or just it'll completely go off the rails. One of the two.
You've just got to go there. Oh, no, that's fantastic. Really, really good. I noticed that lots of people you played for and things, and you had in your, like you played for the Prime Ministers and the Queen and all these people. And the one that caught my eye, though, was the Emperor of Japan. That's great.
Yeah, it was. That was a real. Yeah, again, it was a gig that we did back in 2000, and it was Canada. They were celebrating 60 years. I think it was, of diplomatic relations between Canada and Japan. So there was this massive conference that took place in Tokyo, and our premier of Prince Edward Island at the time had taken a whole delegation to go to Japan, and and it was just an incredible time there. First time there, a great gig, and I remember, of course, yes, the Emperor and our Chrétien was there too, our Prime Minister, and so as a Canadian ambassador, it was quite an honor for sure. And I remember just before we did the gig, they had these. It was absolutely amazing. These the taiko drummers with the massive drums. It's a full body workout watching these guys do this, and they were there doing this amazing performance. So it was quite an experience. Yeah.
I think they trained for years to do that, because the stamina that they must have to do it must be.
They are, yeah. That taiko drumming, it blew my mind to watch them. When,
I mean, it makes playing the accordion not a bad gig at all.
It's not surprising that you get these opportunities, Rich, because you were named one of the top 100 Canadians to watch in the 21st century as well.
In McLean's magazine, that's quite, that's.
I think we should say top 10. Top 100.
I just, that's. I'm humbled.
Yeah, fantastic. Incredible to see all these things and do what you've done. And the first time when I met you, you were quite just a young lad when you were over here and shit.
It's kind of weird because I think I should actually be about 85. I think I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I went through a time warp or something. It seems like I've been doing this. I don't know for so long.
I sometimes feel the same. In fact, I noticed one of our friends, the show Jamie Starr, had a thing on today saying that his brain thinks he's a 25-year-old, but his body thinks his brain is crazy. And I thought, I can live with that one. Yeah, I know what you mean.
The white whiskers, yeah.
That's it. Actually, and I was thinking in your first video there when we watched it, the one for the halls, you had more like a Viking beard there in that one.
A little bit more, Through the many looks over the years, it's been long hair. It's been short hair, of course, and different colors.
Is it not Prince Edward Island? Did they not think the Vikings had got to Prince Edward Island? Is that not? Did I not read that somewhere?
That they did or they didn't?
No, they did. They wonder if they did. I think.
I would think so.
So in Shetland and Prince Edward Island, we've got some in common there.
I do believe. Yeah, I think so.
There wasn't many places the Vikings didn't get to be honest.
No, true enough.
They didn't do very well in Largs.
No, they didn't do very well in Largs, but that's one battle, Davey. Come on, one battle.
15 minutes. Come on. Get rid of them.
Anyway, listen, folks. I hope you're really enjoying this tonight. Remember, if you're interested in Richard's CDs or books or anything like that, jump onto his website and treat yourself. And I'm sure he'd be absolutely delighted to sell you one. He will be delighted. That'd be great. Any projects coming up then, Richard?
Yeah, actually, it's well, there's a couple of things. There's again, through the course of the last year, we've during that time we've come up with an idea to the first one is we come up with a scholarship through the College of Piping here in Prince Edward Island and Celtic Performing Arts of Canada. They a wonderful establishment, and they have they teach piping, of course, and dancing and everything to do within the Celtic arts. And but what I really wanted to do is for the next generation and to keep this music alive and was to come up with this scholarship. So me and Faye had talked about this and went to the college to get this rolling and to just I mean, I know what it was like for me growing up, and I there's so many of the great players, and to carry this forward. You had, the Chason family and Eddie Arsenault, and you had George Weatherby. There's a number of great legendary fiddle players that were so kind to me and so helpful in motivating me and push, to carry on this tradition of music. So we thought, me and Faye, well, this scholarship is a great idea to try and encourage the young generation and
Oh, wonderful.
yeah. So we're really pumped about that, and that's coming up very soon, and just to get the younger generation and keep them involved with the music and keep it going. There's so much nowadays, as you know, between so much that you can find on your phones and everything else. It's sometimes that things can kind of get lost here, and to make sure that this music and the style of music and the culture keeps going forward. It's just one more thing to preserve it and that we can do to help.
Brilliant.
So that's one big thing, and then the other big thing that we did come up with, which is we're really, really pumped about, is at the College of Piping they have an amazing theater, state of the art sound and lighting, and we come up with a concept working with them called Richard Wood Through the Years.
Okay.
And so basically, what it's going to be a show that's.
Is this the whole 85 years? Or?
We'll go with 30 for now, but it's a really cool project that's going to be a live show, of course, but all being done to visuals behind me. So it's going to cover music that I played when I first started. Through the different experiences that I've had and through step dancing, and all being done to video of video photos and videos that people haven't seen, and and through just about 30 years, I guess, of different changes in my career and where it's taken me, and all this is going to be done to video. So we're pretty pumped about that, and that'll run the whole month of July and August. And at the College of Piping, and it's just of course some of the pipers from the college and dancers, and
So hopefully you can keep us in touch with all these things as they go along, and we can advertise on this side of the pond for you as well.
Absolutely,
and make sure we're getting it around the world, because it's stuff that people wouldn't want to miss after tonight and seeing all this.
Super.
Stuff.
Yeah,
be absolutely fantastic. I think we've got one set of tunes to go here, and then we'll catch you before you go. And then,
absolutely.
Where is it you are tonight? Where did you go to? You even made a special effort to go into the city to get a better.
We're at the. I can't obviously. I could bend the camera, but it's the.
Oh no! Don't. Yeah.
The Business Women's Association of Prince Edward Island. So the ladies here were very gracious, and they opened up their building here for us on a day like today, just to come in and do it. And of course, they've been absolutely
fantastic. Well, please thank them kindly from us on the other side of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For doing that. What city are you in just now?
We're in an area. It's called Badek okay. in Prince Edward Island. So we're just southwest. We're outside of the city of Summerside.
Okay. So how far do you and Faye stay from there then?
We're not too far. We're about probably 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes. Okay. So it's not too bad of a drive. No, it's not too bad of a drive. We're not. Yeah.
Oh, Fantastic. Well, thank you, and thanks to Faye as well. You've done so much by organising this and made it special tonight for everybody to see. And that's great. But let's have this wee set of tunes. Here we go. That's set for tonight. Fantastic. Brilliant.
Not a bad view.
Nice view, yeah. Nice
Thank
view.
you so much. Thank you.
Listen, I just wanted to highlight something here, Richard, to you, because, and I know why Karen's not put the comment up, but it's because it's very, very long. But I want to just pick a few bits out. And there was a chap called George Weatherby that sent a message in, and he said, you'll be able to read it back when you see it back, but he was just wanting to say a shout out for Prince Edward Island as you make all us islanders proud, he said. And he said, Faye's a great lady and partner for yourself, and that you used to play with his father and a lot of the old fiddlers.
I mentioned actually, funny you should say that, because I mentioned his father's name earlier, George Weatherby, who was a legendary player in Prince Edward Island and a dear friend as well.
Well, he said a lot of them are past, but they'll all be looking down on you and would be exceptionally proud of you.
I hope so.
So that's a nice one for the show. So, Richard, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure having you on tonight.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, it's thank you. It's been great talking to you guys, and I can't wait to get back over on that side of the pond. Can't wait for you to be back. It'll be great getting you back over some point. And it's going to go away sometime. All this nonsense. We'll get there sometime. We are.
But Richard, listen, to you and Faye, thank you very much. Take care. Have a safe journey home. I'm loving all these comments, by the way. What time is it with you just now? Where you are?
It's 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock here, yeah.
Because there was somebody from Australia put on how they were dancing about you making their breakfast just now.
Oh. Wow, fantastic.
It's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Anyway, Richard, you and Faye, take care. Thank you so much for giving up your time on a Sunday night afternoon, coming and joining us. And I hope we do all meet up in person soon before long. You take care, sir.
Absolutely. Lots of love to you guys, okay?
Yeah. Both of you stay safe. Thanks again.
Thanks, Davey. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
All right.
Oh, what a great guy.
Cracking.
I just love when you meet these guys that are exceptionally famous, that are really, really top of the tree, and they're such nice people.
Yeah.
And thinking about the music, thinking about all the other people learning. Wow. I wish them all the best with the scholarship thing and things. That's fantastic.
So humble as well.
Very. Nice person. I can see why that message came from Prince Edward Island, from that gentleman. I can see why they're very proud of him over there.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
So there we go. That's been a 2-hour show. That's been fantastic. It's been brilliant tonight. Really enjoyed that. Really amazing people we're getting the chance to meet when we're doing all these wee interviews and things. So it's just fantastic. So all we can do is a big thank you to Paddy and a big thank you to Richard for making the show special. Have you got a wee something you were wanting to mention?
Yeah. I want to kind of raise awareness of the free concerts that are available this week from the RCS Trad Music course. Every year they do. They've got to do all the graduates have to do a recital, and there's folk there and watching in person, etc. But they've put it all online this year on Zoom. If you go to the address on the screen, you'll then see the links and the codes for gaining access to that. And we've got bagpipes on Monday, percussion and piano on Tuesday, accordion and clarinet on Wednesday, guitar and song, fiddle on Thursday, fiddle, cello and fiddle, and Gaelic song on Friday. So it's a full kind of week of music, and a lot of it's new music as well. These guys are composing, and each concert are in 45 minutes.
Brilliant.
It'd be good for them to get an audience, kind of a wider audience that they're otherwise missing due to the current situation.
It'd be really brilliant. Really brilliant.
You can find the link on our page as well.
There's that lady, Lynn McCulloch-Reid in Australia, that said she was dancing to Richard, making her breakfast, saying it's coming up to 7 a.m.
7 a.m. It's Monday there. That's like time travel.
All right, it'll be 7 a.m. here before we know it's happened either.
No, don't remind me. I'm back to work tomorrow.
After how long? A year and a half nearly of furlough?
A year and, in May, about 13 months of furlough.
13 months of furlough, and you're back to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yay! Packed lunch.
But what I do know is I am going to download Richard's album and listen to that while driving, so we're good.
Oh, there you go. So you're sorted. So you're going to get Richard's album. Yeah, remember, if you want the guys' albums, please go on and support them, folks, because it's wonderful of them to come on and help us out with this show. And it's what it's all about, sharing the music about. Anyway, we're going to go.
Remind me again, Peter, Wednesday night, which are next show. Do you not have a guest on Wednesday night for Watch New Wednesday?
We do.
We do. Yeah. That'll be good.
Well, we tell them who it is.
We may as well. We're here now.
Well, on Wednesday night, we've got a guest coming on just for the wee short show with What's New Wednesday, because he's brought a book out, and it's the one and only Mr. Sandy Brecon. Now, I've no idea who he will turn up as, because every week he's done a new character for his show every Sunday. And I noticed it was did you see today's one?
No.
Sandy was, instead of the shining, it was the squeezing today, since he's an accordion player. And he had that shot, smiling, looking round the door of himself. He's been everything now, hasn't he? He's been superheroes and everything.
Yeah.
But Sandy Brecon's coming on, so I don't know if he's dressing up or if he's going to be himself. Nobody will recognise him if he comes on as himself.
Oh, dear me. That'll be good on Wednesday.
Anyway, listen. Thanks, Davie. Thanks for tonight. Thanks, Karen, backstage. And we'll see you all on Wednesday night. Let you know who our guests are for next week, and we've got another two cracking for you next weekend. But thank you to Paddy and Richard. That has been an awesome night. Take care. Stay safe, wherever you are.
See you later.